Good day everyone, my topic is all about where lies the myth and the reality. The genealogy of governance. In order to understand the emergence of the governance matrix, we have to go back to the early 1970s, the students' movement and the crisis of legitimacy it gave rise to. As close of 1985 and the Habermas 1982 have shown, the crisis derived from the radical questioning of both the social and the democratic content of the social contract that had underlined social democratic states since the end of the Second World War. For the students' movement, soon to be joined by the feminist and the ecological movements, the social contract, very inclusive in appearance, was indeed exclusionary. Indeed, the alternatives offered by the governance to the silence concepts are of them negative in the sense that they define themselves by opposition to the legitimacy concepts, rather than social transformation, problem solving, rather than popular participation, selected stakeholders participation, rather than social contract, self-regulation, rather than social justice, compensatory policies, rather than power relations, coordination and partnerships, rather than social conflict, social cohesion, and stability of laws. The political meaning of neoliberal governance. In order to identify the political meaning of neoliberal governance, we must pay attention not only to what it says, but also to what it silences. The most important silences in the governance matrix are social transformation, popular participation, social contract, social justice, power relations, and social conflict. These were the concepts with which the legitimacy crisis was formulated in the 1970s. They were also the concept that grounded modern critical theory by silencing them and offering no positive alternative to them. Governance signals the defeat of critical theory in both social and political affairs. It completely excluded large social groups, minorities, immigrants, and important social issues such as cultural diversity and the environment, and included other groups by subordinating them to disempowering forms of inclusion, as was the case most notably of women. On the other hand, all this had been possible because democracy had failed to fulfill its promise of building free and equal societies. The ideas of popular sovereignty and popular participation had been hijacked by elitist forms of democratic rule with the complicity of the two social actors historically charged with the task of defining democracy and bringing about social emancipation. The working class parties and the labor unions. It was a crisis of legitimacy because it was a crisis of government by consent. It dominated political protests in the North in the first half of the 1970s.